What's your self-talk? How you doing? My name is Jabari McLennan, and I have the pleasure to come to you every Tuesday and to help you focus on where you are and where you want to go. And how you do that is by asking that one question. What's your self-talk? Choosing to be growth mind instead of fixed mind. And as you feed into that growth mindset, you will realize you have more inside of you and you have more that you want to express. So, today, who do you think you are? No, really. Who do you think you are? Because most of the time we do not take the time out to ask ourselves that question. So what we're going to do in today's session, we're going to dive into that. But before I even go into today's session, I want you to answer one question. Just one question. If you see the replay of this, I still want you to answer because this is very important. I'm real curious to know if people are more one or the other. Because when you can at least identify the core with who you are, then you can really start understanding how you process life different from other people. See, people are not really weird, depending on how you look at it, but people are different. And so most of the time when we say someone is different, most of the time when we say someone is weird, really it is different from how we would do something or how we would go about doing or handling a situation. So, I want you to answer this one question. Are you more of an outgoing person or are you more of a reserved person? Okay? Are you more of an outgoing person over being reserved? Now, don't get too twisted. I just want you to think of your natural being. If, for example, I came to you and said, hey, we're about to go out, maybe about to run some errands, what would you generally say? Yes, hey, I'd love to go out, run with you for some errands. Or would you probably say, you know what? If you want me to go, I can, but I can stay here. I'm all right with that. And so generally, that person who's like all for, hey, let's go. I'm ready. Where we going? It don't matter. We're riding. We're going to be together. That is a person who is just naturally wired to be an outgoing person. That's me. That is a person who just is thriving and is energetic. Or you're that person reserved. Or you're a person that's saying, you know what? I can stay in the house. Unless you really want me to go. I'm okay right here, So which one are you? Are you that person that's more reserved? You're that person that's more outgoing. Let's go. Or you're the person that's a little bit more reserved. We can take it easy. I can stay here. So which one is it? I really, really want you to just comment below and just let me know so that I can go back and see more of if you're more that outgoing person or reserved. So if you're outgoing, just type outgoing. If you're a more reserved person, type reserved. That's all you got to do. Type in a comment, reserved, outgoing. Okay? And so that's what we're going to focus on. Who do you think you are? Because the majority of the time, we think we are being portrayed as this one person, but in reality, in our minds, we got so much information, we don't even know how to process it. We don't even know how to act on it. So we have to start with the basic information. Who are we? And who you are and how you're wired will measure how you make decisions and how you go forward from there. Okay? So let's start with the first question that I'm going to continue to ask you throughout today's segment, but I want to dive into why I want you to answer the first question. Are you more of an outgoing person or are you more of a reserved person? Let's go to the example. So for me, if you were to call me up and we're good friends and you'll say, hey, I'm about to go do this, and that. If I don't have anything on my agenda, or even if I have something on my agenda, I'm going to say, you know what? I can figure out, I can do that while we're driving. Or I can do it while we get there. I can knock it out. You know what? Yeah, I'm in. I'm all in. Best friend of mine, if I was to call him up every time, I would say, hey man, you want to go do this? Yeah, man, shoot, man, I'm all for it. And then after a while, he was like, man, I ain't even think about my wife. I ain't even think about my kid. So, I have to back up and say no. Because an outgoing person is naturally wired to want to jump, want to go for what we want to do, and be an out and about and not staying in one place. So that you being more of an outgoing person, you naturally think about, hey, I want to go do this. Hey, I want to go do that. I'd love to go do this with you. Now, outgoing person or reserved. And I'm going to get into the difference in a minute. But okay, now I'm more of a reserved person. Now, if you're more of a reserved person, generally you are a little bit more detailed. You want like, well, where are we going? And do you want me to go? You start asking those type of questions. See, your motor is just, that's what keeps you going. Maybe you're reserved, so being more of a reserved person, that is more of your comfort zone. That is more where you like to be in your natural state. And so being more a reserved person, you tend to be to yourself. Not saying anything is wrong with it, but you are just naturally a person that say, if I was to say, hey, do you want to go here? You may ask a few questions and say, hey, do you want me to go? You're constantly trying to figure out what's in it for me, right? Or why do I need to go? And so that reserved person just have a natural tendency to just want to sit back and not really act. Now, if you're more of an outgoing person or you're more reserved person, here's the trick. The question is, we have both inside of us, but I ask you to answer the question based off your natural state of who you are. What do you have a natural tendency to pull to first? Do you have a natural tendency? Hey, I want to go out, I want to go do something, I want to be around people, I want to do this, I want to do that. Or do you have a natural tendency to say, you know what? I'm going to sit here, I'm going to, just kind of be to myself, collect my thoughts, and do that. Now, once again, like I said, each one have a tendency to lean towards one or the other. But understand this. It is very important to choose and understand which one is your natural core. And you have to answer this because as we go on to the next session, you have to know who you are. Most of the time we focus on comparing ourselves to everybody else, and we focus on what everybody else have and what everybody else is doing and what you don't have and what you're not doing. And then guess what? You start getting confused on who you are. You got so many masks on and understanding like, okay, am I this person? Am I that person? Oh my gosh, I don't know. So what I need you to do is do what most people are not going to do. And when you look at this, yeah, I'm calling you out. You're not going to at least type in, I'm outgoing or reserve. Go ahead and identify yourself. It is okay to be who you're called to be. Okay. Now, I told you the first one is this, outgoing and reserve. I told you to answer the question, to type in the comments below if you're more of an outgoing person or you're more of a reserved person. Outgoing person is that person that's going for, hey, I want to go out, I want to go out about. A reserved person is like, you know what? I can stay in unless you really want me to go out. I probably want to sit here and chill back. Okay. So answer the question. I just want you to type in the comments and say, I'm more outgoing, Jabbar, and I'm more reserved. Or you can just put outgoing, reserved. So I already told you I'm outgoing. I'm going to be the person that's going to want to go and do. I'm going to talk fast. I'm excited and I don't analyze things too much. If I know you, I trust you. Hey, let's go. All right. So that's important to know who do you think you are. Now, second session, I'm going to dive into the second part of if you have decided if I'm more of an outgoing person, I'm more of a reserved person, then which way do you tend to point your compass? So the first one is outgoing or reserved. That is generally your engine. This is the thing that keeps you going, being an outgoing person or more reserved person. And Amanda said more reserved and Ryan is definitely more outgoing. Yeah, so that's Amanda. That is my wife all day. My wife is more reserved. I'm more outgoing. And you just made me think of something real interesting is anytime we go on a road trip or we go anywhere, me and my wife, and we're going somewhere and we're about to go have fun. And say it's a 4 or 6 hour trip and we're getting somewhere because we're about to go do something. Or if we just go into a hotel or whatever. And when we get there after 6 hours, what is the first thing that my wife is going to do? She's going to relax, sit back, I'm like, we here. Let's go. What's the next thing we're about to go do? And so that's the difference. And it's funny, in marriage, we have a tendency to marry the opposite or we're attracted to opposites do attract, as we know that. And it's because we know we need a natural tendency to have more of the other person and vice versa. So that's why I say who your natural core of who you are, more outgoing, reverse. So thank you, Amanda, for letting me know. Okay. So next I said, now that you can say I'm more reserved, I'm more outgoing. The second one I want you to answer, am I more people oriented or am I more task oriented? Okay. I'm going to ask that again. Are you more people oriented or are you more task oriented? All right. So people oriented. That's me. So I'm going to be somebody who loves being around people, love interacting with people. I get energy if I'm around a group of people. It's just, it doesn't bother me. Like it, a lot of people still don't believe this, or I say they believe it, but it annoys them because, okay, say Black Friday come in. I may want to go get one or two things, but I want to go to the store because I'm just like, man, I'm going to go figure out just how many people really came out here, or I really want to get what I want to get. It don't bother me staying in line a little bit, but whatever. It's fun then you gonna start seeing everybody. So when Black Friday come around, I love to find a group of people who want to go. Hey, you want to go? You want to go? You want to go? Let's just go out. Let's go see what it looks like. Let's see what they have. I don't know. Most of the time, I probably get one or two things, but the fact that I was out and about around a lot of people, that was fun within itself. Now, if you're more of a task-oriented people, you probably despise Friday shopping. And you probably despise going Black Friday shopping, but you need to get that gift for babies or for your kids, or you need to get that TV that's on sale. You need to get that one thing. And so you're so task oriented, you have to fight through all those people and it's going to irritate you. You probably going to say so many crazy things before you even get there, but you'll focus on accomplishing the task. Another example I give you, and I get to what you said here in a minute, Amanda. If you sit in your bed at the end of the day, generally, this is how somebody who is more people-oriented than task-oriented will sit in the bed and think. If you're more task-oriented, you just go through your mind. You're like, okay, did I get that done? Did I get this done? Did I get this done? Dang it, I forgot to do that. I need to make sure the first thing I do, I need to do this. So if you naturally do that when you sit in bed at night because you were recapping your day, what did you do? What did you not do? And what are the things you need to make sure you do tomorrow? So that is, then you're more task oriented. Now, if you're more people oriented, you're gonna sit back and you say, man, I remember we did that, but how did they, I hope I didn't, offend them when I said what I said, or I hope that didn't come across the wrong way, or, man, it was fun hanging out with them today, man. I had so much fun going out and about. I went here, we went there. Man, that was so much fun, man. I enjoyed that. So you see the language between somebody who's more people-oriented than task-oriented? Two different people, and they think two opposite things when they lay in bed at night, okay? So, and this is why it's different. And as I said on the first part, is that if you're more outgoing or you're more reserved, that's just your natural tendency. You have a little bit of both. And once again, these are just questions to help tool you help you understand why you make the decisions you make. And so if you look at more people, and so we go to more people and tasks, I still understand I needed to do certain things, but I start still thinking about was the people that I deal with. What are the people that I offended when I did do what I do or didn't do what I do? Okay, Amanda, that's exactly how we are. I need to relax and recoup before we go do so that's my wife all day, Amanda. So you're more task oriented, so I'm constantly going through my mental list, making sure I got everything done and writing things down. I'm afraid I forget. Yeah, so that is, you care about accomplishing the task. You have an absolutely great day. If you finish everything that you said you were going to finish, you don't even need to interact with. You may want to interact with one person. Hey, I got this done. Or you may interact with two people. Man, we got all this done. This is a great day. Great day. Right? Great day. So yes, thank you, Amanda, for letting me know that. So task oriented versus people oriented. Now, and if you're just new coming in, the first question I ask you is, are you more outgoing or are you more reserved? And if you looking at this on replay, I still want you to type in outgoing, reserve, and you can feel free to leave more detail from there. And then from there, I ask, are you more people or are you more task oriented? And that's going to help you filter why you make decisions that you make. Now, last session, I'm going to say something very important. And it is important to understand that as you answer those two questions, you have to understand what comes next. So before we do that, I'm going to see, sure, so I waited too long to worry about pleasing everybody. So you, thank you, Amanda. So people who are more task oriented, they have a natural tendency to say, people are going to disappoint me. I do not live, or I've moved past that much faster of thinking of what people would think. If I got the task done, hey, so what? If I got the task done, I am okay. Right? So, yeah, and here's the thing. It is completely okay to be that way. It is okay to be more people oriented than task oriented. And it's okay to be more outgoing versus reserved, because that's who you naturally are, and you have to accept that. And we live in a culture now that's telling you need to be this, you need to be that. No, you need to be who God created you to be. And then once you can do that, you can learn to adapt to other people. That's the key. Learning how to adapt in certain situations. I'm outgoing, I'm people oriented. I have to work harder at being more task oriented. I have to work harder at being more reserved and understand what I'm doing at those times, because I need that as well. That's why I married who I married. And that's why it's so important. So now you answer the question. I'm more outgoing, reserved. I'm more people oriented. I'm more task oriented. Now the topic of today was, who do you think you are? Now guess what? You're responsible to continue to develop more on who you are, and responsible to also work on the opposite. Because here is the excuse that we make for ourselves. This is how I am. Can't change that. That is a lie. That is a lie that you tell yourself in order to not to change. You tell yourself that so others can accept you for who you are and not really feel, well, you don't feel like it's a need to change. Let me help you understand. It's people that I definitely want to understand. And it's those people who are more reserved and who's more task oriented. Because those people you have a different sense of how you operate throughout life. And that's just going to always be your natural core. Now, sometimes your environment or your circumstances may change and it may shift who you are, but you're going to have a natural tendency to go back to who you are. So I have to work harder at working on my weaknesses, because why? I'm responsible for me, and I'm responsible for me first, and understanding that I have to accept me for who I am. I have to learn how others are different, and then therefore I have to learn to adapt. So you're responsible for learning who you are, so you can know who you are. That's who you think you are, and that's who you know you are. And therefore, you have to understand others, and then you have to adapt. The ability to adapt to understanding and accept other people for who they are, then guess what? You will have a better understanding on how to work with people, how to live with people, how to interact with people, how to have better conversations when you are with people. Because once we stop forcing people to change them, to think the way I think or do the things the way I do them, and just being more who you're called to be and understand that they will follow your lead or don't follow your lead, then guess what? You're a more authentic person. You're not comparing yourself with everybody else, and you are naturally who God has created you to be. And guess what? We need more of you. I'm tired of dealing with people who want to be somebody else because, hey, well, they said it was cool to do this. Well, maybe you just was processing information wrong. You're just somebody who were needing to be appreciated for what you've done, and you can be people or task oriented. You can be people or task oriented. So all that to say, thank you for commenting today, Amanda. Shout out, and make sure every Tuesday you come back and you join me and share this with one person for me. Just one person. I'll share this on your page because I have a personal goal. I want to use social media to continue to put encouraging and inspiring information with that one question, what's your self-talk, and learning how to apply the correct information in order to have the growth mindset that I believe all of us want to have. So just share this with one person. That's all I'm asking for you. Share with one person, share the page, and that way somebody can understand how to process all this information we're getting. We live in a world where we have so much information. We don't know what to do with it. So that's my goal, is to do it and do it in a positive and encouraging way. And therefore, you can understand how to enjoy life better. So, as you know, the question I always like to end with, go out and be who you're called to be, and then people will appreciate you more, and therefore you can appreciate others. So until then, what's your self-talk? See you.